Irish voters head to the polls on Thursday in a vote for yes or no in a referendum on the EU fiscal treaty. Ireland is the only EU member state putting the fiscal compact to a popular vote due to Irish laws. The collapse of the Celtic Tiger economy led to it becoming the second Eurozone country to get bailed out back in late 2010. Joining me now to discuss the Irish economy ahead of Thursday's treaty vote is UCD economist and Professor Colm McCarthy. Colm, if Ireland votes yes to the fiscal pact, it may mean abiding by strict new budget rules, further cuts and allowing Europe more power over its economy. But if Ireland votes no, it would be denied another bailout if needed, essentially its safety net. Is this not a case of damned if you do and damned if you don't?
It is not true that if the referendum is carried, Ireland will be subject to completely new fiscal disciplines that are not otherwise in force. There is very little that's new in this fiscal treaty. Virtually all of its provisions are already in the membership rules for the Eurozone. So it's not the case that people are being asked to vote for a fiscal austerity that is somehow avoidable if people vote no.
Although access to the bailout fund is more of an insurance policy for Ireland, if we look at the current state of the economy, do you think Ireland will even need the extra cash handed out to them?
It's very likely, in my opinion, the medium-term financial programme assumes that the Irish government will be able to re-enter the bond market in some size in 2013. And given the current condition of the European sovereign debt market, I think that's unlikely. None of us can predict the future, but I think it would be very foolish to proceed on the basis that the government will exit the IMF and EU financing programme successfully and will be able to re-enter the bond market next year. That's possible, but I just don't think it's in any way certain.
Regardless of how Ireland votes tomorrow, the EU treaty will still go ahead with or without Ireland in it. However, many believe that the treaty itself will be altered and renegotiated before it's even ever put into place. Do you think this could be the case?
I think there will be a fudge between France and Germany, and I think the fudge will consist of the Germans insisting that the treaty goes ahead as it is, and there will be some kind of an annex or protocol or appendix to it, which says that we are all in favour of growth and jobs and stuff like that, so that both the French and the Germans will be able to say that they have achieved their political objectives. I'm being a little bit cynical, but I just do not believe there will be a Franco-German rift on the back of this issue. The stakes are too big for that, so there'll be a suitable fudge.
What is your general opinion on this EU fiscal compact? Irish government spending has been cut for the last 4 years. So besides several more years of harsh austerity measures to come, what good is this fiscal compact to Ireland?
It does not address the fundamental problem in the Eurozone, which is a banking crisis. It hasn't been addressed properly, and the German narrative that all that's needed is for governments to tighten up on budget policy and then everything will be fine is not credible. We need a centralised system of bank supervision, a centralised system of bank resolution, a centralised system of deposit insurance for banks, and we need something a little bit like what they have in the United States, where there is a dollar zone with 50 states in membership of it, but responsibility for supervising the banks is centralised, and Europe needs something like that. And that has been dodged for the last 3 or 4 years, and the notion that this was all caused by governments borrowing too much money is just not true. In Ireland, there was a budget surplus in all the years coming up to the crisis. You know, the debt ratio is very low. It's a banking crisis, and it needs to be addressed with a centralised policy to deal with bank supervision and resolution.
A Greek exit will most likely spur investors to question what other debt-smothered countries could be forced to quit the single currency. Do you think Ireland could find themselves in the firing line?
I think a Greek exit will have consequences. The consequences will depend on the manner in which it arises. The election in Greece is on the 17th of June. We don't know yet what the result will be. I think the situation in Greece is tragic. There could be a Greek exit. it could be contained, or it could, result in contagion to other countries. I think Spain will be first. Ireland, don't forget, is out of the bond market, and so is Portugal. So the country that's in the firing line first is the one that is still borrowing in the bond markets, that has a big program of borrowing to do. And that country is Spain, followed by Italy.
Colm, thank you very much for speaking to me. Now, the results are expected on Friday, so we will have more on the decision then. But in the meantime, there's plenty to keep you informed and updated on DukascopyTV, so make sure you stay tuned. Goodbye for now.